Welcome back, creators. We have been blessed with a new animation for Shadow Generations. Just a teaser, just a little bit, but it was just enough to show us that they have been cooking. I was not expecting it to look this good or to be 3 episodes long. They're really putting a lot of thought and effort and care into this, and that much is clear. And from listening to the panel, they really have confidence in Shadow as a brand and want to include him more in the future as well, and not just for this year. So that's really good to hear that this isn't just like a one-time thing and then we go back to the way things were. No, Shadow's gonna have more of a presence in the future. Maybe not in every game, but in more games than he has been in the past 10 years. That's great to hear. To see Maria animated again, and might I just say that the anime style fits Sonic so well, and I always thought that if they were gonna go with an art style for the humans, it would either be the Pixar style they went with from Unleashed or the anime style from like Shadow the Hedgehog and sort of the Sonic Adventure era. And I have to say, now that I see this, I'm preferring the anime style, and it makes sense because Sonic is Japanese. Let's just make everything look more anime, and hopefully Maria looks like this in Shadow Generations as like a 3D model. Hopefully they just go with an anime style for the humans again. That would just be such a beautiful thing. I wasn't even really thinking about what style are they going to use for the humans, because clearly it's going to be very different than it's been in the past with games like Unleashed, right? That's really exciting to see. Stephanie Shea did a great job voicing Maria in this animation. Kirk Thornton sounds better than he ever has before, and I've been hearing everyone say this, so it's so heartwarming to hear that we're all on the same page and we're finally starting to accept his voice as Shadow, which is kind of sad because he's been voicing the character for a while, but at the same time, he's never been given an actual good script, something that's faithful to the lore, something that actually includes the lore, something that revisits his past and kind of allows Kirk to connect more with Shadow. Even he said that in the panel, that he now understands the backstory and feels more connected to the character and was able to play the character better and more accurate to how us fans see him, right? That was really amazing. The whole panel was great. It had its funny moments here and there. Azuka really didn't like the Vegeta comparison. That was like the highlight. I loved all the information they gave about Shadow's early concept designs and sort of like what inspired his design. Super interesting stuff. But just talking about the animation now, and Emerl, who has made a return from a long time absence from the series. We're talking since Sonic Battle, because Gemerl was sort of Emerl's replacement after Emerl was destroyed. So I don't know if this is a permanent return for the character. It's most likely just for this animation, and maybe Gemerl is going to be in Shadow Generations, or really Emerl is going to be the character that makes a return. It's just really hard to tell right now, because as far as we know, Emerl is only going to be in the animation in the 3 episodes, or maybe just the first one, because we know of the story of Emerl going on a rampage on the Ark and killing a bunch of people and basically trying to destroy the Ark itself, and in the end they stop him, and Shadow was the one that was able to do that. So we're kind of getting that story that we were only told about in games like Sonic Battle in a full-fledged 3-episode anime, which is really cool, but I'm also very concerned that we may be getting our hopes up for a character to appear in Shadow Generations that just won't. I don't think Emerl is making his big return here, because Gemerl still exists. We can't ignore that character, right? If that is canon, Gemerl is the more modern day version of Emerl, right? So we can't have Emerl come back unless they're going to use this game to sort of cheat his death, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people would not be a fan of, right? Usually when a character dies, it's best they stay dead. But because it's Generations, we're sort of going through all the years of Shadow's life, and so maybe this is something they wanted to put in the game, but they didn't have the time, because it is a smaller game, right? It's not even the same length as Generations, so we have to keep the expectations of all the things that could be packed into this pretty low, right? So we don't want to say that Emerl's a playable character or anything like that. That would be crazy, but he most likely is that character bio that we see, because I don't know who else it would be other than Mephiles, right? Which that's assuming Mephiles is even in the game, if he even has a presence, if he even has a boss battle or a reference, right? We just don't know. So this mystery character thing that's been going on, I understand it's frustrating and that there's a lot of sort of expectations not being met for people of just, you know, getting all the hype up for the speculation and then sort of just to be disappointed disappointed when we realized that it's just a character bio. So yeah, unfortunately, like, we know there's no secondary playable character now, just to reiterate on that. So no, I'm not saying here that Emerl is playable, but he is back, and it's really important to acknowledge that, and it's really cool to see him back, and what an interesting time, you know? We're actually getting to see this rampage that Emerl went on in great detail. Now, if I were to guess what these 3 episodes would all be about, I would say definitely exploring Shadow and Maria's relationship, Gerald's relationship with both of them as well. Maybe we even get to see the commander, like when he was a kid, which we know back from Shadow the Hedgehog that him and Maria, when they were kids, sort of played around the Ark and stuff. So that's why the commander held that grudge against Shadow, because he thought that Shadow either directly was the one responsible for Maria's death, or it was because of him that it happened, right? So I'd hope to see his character in there as well. I think Abraham Tower, which is the name of the commander, we just call him the commander because that's more easily recognizable as what character we're talking about, because he was only given the name Abraham Tower in the comics, but I would assume they still have the rights to that name. I mean, I don't really care what name he has, but it would be cool if they gave him that name back, because it sounds like a very powerful name. If we do get to see Abraham Tower, that would be really cool, and I think one of the things that would be a perfect opportunity is the first or second episode of this, you know, to sort of have his character appear. Maybe not have a major role, but just appear. And I didn't even think about this, but Black Doom is definitely going to be a character we see in these 3 episodes. I would assume. I could be wrong because I don't know what the plot is here. Like, it seems like Shadow's kind of glitching out whenever Maria grabs his hand. I don't know if that's because he's revisiting this time through Black Doom's like powers, sort of making him relive this memory, sort of like a Phantom Ruby illusion type thing. So we don't even really know if this is happening for Shadow, or if he's just sort of experiencing this with Black Doom's illusions, right? His sort of way to manipulate the world in a very Doctor Strange-esque way. So I guess it's Black Doom in the multiverse of madness this time around. And he could just be having Shadow relive this terrible memory just for the fun of it, you know, to get back at him for defeating him all those years ago. But that would make me think that we would see Black Doom. I hope we do, because I'd like to see him in this animation style. Yeah, that's just a couple of the characters I hope we get to see. But yeah, I'm not too sure if Emerl is our mystery character. I still think it might be Mephiles that is the real mystery character, and Emerl is sort of just like a nice addition, a piece of Shadow's past we never got to see physically. Like, we've only gotten to hear characters talk about it, right? So it's really cool to see it happen. And for Emerl to be in the spotlight again, I don't really know what that means for his character. Is he a character we're gonna see in the movie? I don't even know why his character's coming back right now, but it's very welcome. It does make me wonder about Gemerl. Is he gonna be in the game? Is he the mystery character? Is he gonna be someone that we are able to see in the cutscenes of Shadow Generations in the game? Like, is he gonna have any sort of role, or is it just Emerl because of his relation to Shadow in the past? I think it's more so the latter. I don't think we're going to see Gemerl. I don't even think we're going to see Emerl 3D modeled in Shadow Generations. It's best that we just keep our expectations extremely low, as fun as it is to speculate. And so, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to really talk about here. I have never personally played Sonic Battle myself, but I've always loved Emerl and the Sonic X episodes he appeared in. His design is really great. I particularly like Emerl's design more than Gemerl. I think Gemerl's a little bit villainous looking. I feel like their designs should be swapped. I don't know if that's intentional, but like, I feel like Gemerl should have come first, the more evil looking one, and then Emerl was the one that stayed after, because his design is so iconic. I don't know how they could just replace it with Gemerl, you know? Although I like both designs, I just think one of them looks like a hero, one of them looks like a villain, but they totally swapped their identities. It's so weird, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say, so I appreciate you guys listening through. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video, creators. Peace out.